Wow, I'm 40.2% West African. West African. I'm 1.4% African hunter-gatherer. What does that mean? I'm 27.4% European. Who is European? Was on this stuck on me Latino? Like, no, I don't see it anywhere. This is some weird-ish. Oh, I stuck. Oh, 19.9% Native American, Mexico. It's a 20% pretty much. At the end of the day, we all come from Africa. That's how I feel.
I'm glad to have you, amazing viewer. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate your love and support for my content. If you're passing by for the first time, remember subscribing to the channel. And if you're coming back to watch my video, you are the real one. I appreciate your love and support, and thank you for all the feedbacks that you guys are sending to me. Well, in today's video, we'll be looking at Afro Latinos. Let's learn about them today. People have a lot of assumption concerning them. The first one, people are shocked when they speak Spanish. How are you, Latino, and you have a fluent Spanish? There's also an assumption that all Afro-Latinos are Dominicans. That's not true. Also, they're always spoken to in English. Even though they're fluent in Spanish, people will always assume you can't know Spanish. Also, there are people who also question the fact that they are Black and Latino at the same time. So you have to explain to them all the time. So they are also... This is the worst one. They're also told that their Black isn't attractive. So let's dive into some stitches that are put across here. But you're also welcome to leave your thoughts. This is an open panel. Guys, I want to hear from you.
I wanted to say something about being Afro-Latina. Una morenita, una negrita, right? When I was growing up, nobody was throwing the word Afro-Latina around, right? So I always kind of felt like there wasn't a way to explain who I was. I always felt like I had to prove it in this weird way. But when Afro-Latina came out, I was like, okay, now you understand why I have frijoles and tortillas for breakfast. I'm Afro-Latina.
So as an Afro-Latina, I always grew up feeling super insecure. Mainly because people would make fun of my skin color, my hairstyles, my nose, my lips, you name it. Always hear things like, ay, ¿por qué no te alisas el pelo? O, ay, no estés mucho en el sol porque te vas a quemar. O, ay, no uses colores fuertes en el maquillaje o ropa porque no da con tu color de piel. You know, it's really sad to grow up feeling that you have to change in order to fit into all these beauty standards that people have set. Also, not to mention in the Latino community, which I feel like we really have to have this topic of how racist some Latinos can be. I'm so happy that I was able to grow out of that and love myself for who I am and not worry about what other people have to say. So if you've been through this, comment and let's connect, and talk about it.
I am Black. For me, being Afro-Latina is important because that Afro part means African diaspora, African descendant. I am a Black woman. I live like a Black woman. I walk through this world as a Black woman, but I'm also Latina. But I find it very interesting that it's very, very interesting. Let me elaborate. That it is extremely interesting to me that people will identify as Afro-Latina, but will say they are not Black.
Maybe I didn't explain it good. You can be Afro-Latino means Black, okay? Can you be a Black mixed person? Yes. You can be Black and white. You can be Black in anything, right? All I'm saying is the Black parent, one or both of your Black parent has to be Latino. So for example, if my mother is a Black Cuban and my dad is white, I'm still Afro-Latina because I have a Black Afro-Latino parent. I have a parent that is Black from Latin America. But if my mom is African American and my dad is a white Cuban, I'm not Afro-Latina. So the Black parent, at least both or one, at least one Black parent has to be, at least one of the Latin parents has to be Black and American, and my dad is a white Cuban, I'm not Afro-Latina.
Exactly, and I got hate for saying this a couple of months ago, but there is a difference. And I'm using this as an example, but there's a difference between an Afro-Mexican person and a Blexican person. Because to be Afro-Latino, your Blackness has to come from the same side as your Latin roots. That's the whole point of Afro-Latino. If there's a person who's half Latino, half African-American, and the Latino side is not Black, your Blackness has nothing to do with your Latin roots. Your Black history and your Black culture is different than my Black history and my Black culture. So those specific people are not Afro-Latinos. For example, Cardi B is is black, bitch, technically she's not Afro-Latina because her mother that is not Latina is black. Her father that is Dominican, he's not black. That we know of. She hasn't said anything about him being black. But Bia is Afro-Latina because she's half Italian, half Puerto Rican, and she's black. So her blackness is coming from her Puerto Rican side, not her Italian side. So Bia is Afro-Latina. And with these two examples, people don't get it. They don't know what to tell you because it's really easy to understand.
You're black, not Latina. Imagine thinking you did your big one by saying that to me. Y you're saying that to someone que está orgullosa de ser colombiana, dominicana, y morena. Look, I'm a firm believer that you gotta leave ignorant people where you found them, but let me educate you a little bit. Just a little bit, okay? This is not the first time that I hear this. Did you know, and you probably didn't because you said this, that the slave trade did not only take place in America, it also took place in parts of the Caribbean, South America, and Central America. And before America did it, and I'm not proud to say this, but before America did it, and Google this, DR was the first country to ever import slaves, which is why you see a huge population of black people in the DR. Not all of us are black, but the majority of us are. People still do not know the difference between race and ethnicity. Ethnically, mi mamá, que de Colombia, y mi papá, que era dominicano, makes me Latina. Spanish was my first language. Racially, I'm a woman of color. I'm melanated. Now let me say this, okay? Because I identify as an Afro-Latina, but I also know that I'm light-skinned. And because I'm light-skinned, there's so much privilege that I'm gonna have, and my experiences are gonna be different from someone who identifies as an Afro-Latina and is of a darker skin complexion. But people still say stuff like this, and this is what I've talked about so many times. Please, before you say anything like that to someone, just be educated, okay?
To me, it's all about the importance of embracing my blackness, coming from the African diaspora and enjoying all of what my culture means and has to say, down to my mangú and plátanos and also my fried chicken and my mac and cheese. Why can't I be both? Why do I have to choose? Why can't I just, you know, speak Spanish, but then, you know, I'm from the Bronx, give them some of that. I feel like it's okay to be both.
I'm Afro-Latina. Of course, people are gonna be shocked when they hear me speak Spanish and then proceed to tell me, wow, your Spanish is actually good. I'm Afro-Latina. Of course, people are gonna automatically assume I must be Dominican because they think that that's the only Latin country with a black population. If I can sepan, soy Dominicana, but we're not the only black Latinos. I'm Afro-Latina. Even when I try speaking Spanish to someone who may be struggling to speak in English because they didn't know that I could speak Spanish, they're still gonna speak to me in English. And struggle. I'm Afro-Latina. Of course, we're gonna question how can you be black and Latina at the same time? Like the two can't coincide. I'm Afro-Latina. Of course I've heard arregla la raza from a family member. Like our black isn't beautiful.
Wow, I'm 40.2% West African. West African. I'm 1.4% African hunter-gatherer. What does that mean? I'm 27.4% European. Who is European? Was on this está todo mi Latino, like no, I don't see it anywhere. This is some weird-ish. Oh, ahí está. Oh, 19.9% Native American, Mexico. So 20% pretty much. At the end of the day, we all come from Africa. That's how I feel. So, this is, I don't know, I just feel so surprised.
Oh my God, I'm about to die. This is just not what I was expecting.
I am 48.7% European, 35% African, with 7.9% being Native American from Dominican Republic.
I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Like I'm laughing, but inside I'm kind of just like, girl, I would call my mom. And I just wanted, let's see what she's gonna say. My mom. You know, Dominican moms, they real reckless with the mouth. So don't take anything too serious. 48.7% European? That's like nearly 50% of who I am.
Hello.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, mi amor.
¿Cómo tú estás?
How are you? Bien. Yes.
Mommy, so I just got my ancestry DNA results back. I am 48.7 European.
What? Who is that? You know what? El papá de mamá y los dos hermanos son españoles. That I know. El negro de nosotros viene de parte de papá. Si tú ves la mamá de papá, que I met her. Y el pelo era blanquito.
I didn't want to be a part of colonization.
That was it about this video, guys. I believe this video was very helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell. Don't forget to like the video, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let's interact, guys. I'll see you next time, but also share the video if you will. Goodbye for now.